Hello friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya. 928 items have been banned from import by the Ministry of Defence. You know, what are these items? These are weapon components. These are spare parts. And so many other things that go on to make this entire defence infrastructure and ecosystem. And why is India doing it? Why is India saying, you know, these many items are banned from import, these many items are banned from import? There are 2-3 factors which are very, very interesting, and today I'm going to cover this in my video. Friends, what's happening is that, during the East India Company time, I'm talking pre-1857, the first war of independence, the British set up, the East India Company set up lots of manufacturing, weapons manufacturing, factories which supplied weapons to the East India Company, and these weapons went all over the world. The First World War, the Second World War, there was a massive production of weapons from India. The clothing, the equipment, weaponry, everything was made in India, and India was amongst the top weapons manufacturing hubs in the world. There was nothing in India, that we did not make and export, especially for the British troops who were fighting the First World War or the Second World War. However, after the British went away, our factories collapsed and they started producing substandard things. So some things we had to import from Russia. We did not have the foreign exchange to import from Russia. So there were many times when we gave them potatoes and wheat and they gave us tanks and ammunition. That was the state India was in because we absolutely did not have foreign exchange. India was a very, very poor country. Over a period of time, more than 68% of our equipment became Russian. I'm talking about ships, I'm talking about weapons for the army, and I'm also talking about aircrafts. So all these Sukhois and other aircraft that came from Russia, this entire ecosystem became Russian. Russia has been a trusted partner for India. But what has happened suddenly that India is banning imports? A, foreign exchange. While India has the money, India feels that foreign exchange is best spent on other things apart from weapons. So yes, India does have a big checkbook. Tomorrow we want to import, let's say, 100 aircraft from outside. We can do that. We can write a check and import 100 aircraft. But India wants to make it here, inside India. Therefore, a long time back, we had this Tejas program. And now it's coming to fruition where the government has actually started supporting Tejas. And we have Tejas squadrons now in the Indian Air Force, which will only increase over a period of time. Various iterations have come in, Mark 1, Mark 2, etc. Now, another very important factor is that the Indian armed forces have studied the Ukraine-Russia war in great minute detail. And what does this war tell us? There was a theory that was, all these think tanks and veterans were discussed amongst each other, and I've been privy to such discussions before the Ukraine-Russia war, that any war that will happen is going to be a short, brutal, swift war. And that is what we assumed. Wrongly so, but that is what we assumed. Russia standing on the Ukrainian border, when the Russian tanks roll in, when the Russian artillery gets going, when the Russian jets, they start bombarding Ukrainian positions, Ukraine will collapse in 7 days to 10 days. And I am guilty too. I was one of the people who went on television and said, no, Ukraine will collapse because the Russian might is phenomenal. Russia may not be an economic superpower, ladies and gentlemen, but Russia is certainly and most certainly a military superpower. But that did not happen. To the shock and surprise of everybody, 23rd of February last year was when Russia invaded Ukraine, and today we are sitting in the month of May and still the war is going on. It's going to be 1.5 years. It's going to be 1.5 years, and this war shows no signs of stopping. This was the idea that germinated in the minds of Indian generals and admirals and air marshals, that India must be prepared for a long war. You could have a long war. You can't write off a long war. While we will all aim for a short and swift and a brutal war which finishes everything in a couple of weeks or so, but it's not in your hands. What if India gets embroiled in a longish war? What happens if this war continues for a year or so? Then what will India do? Can you depend upon imported equipment? Can you actually say that, hey, listen, I'm going to import all my stuff, I'm going to import weapons, ammunition, clothing, etc., everything from outside because I have almost $600 billion of foreign exchange reserves. Can you afford to do that? No, you cannot. It's okay for a short war, but we must plan for a long war, hence Aatmanirbharta. This is why 928 items have been put on the negative import list. These items will not be imported. Now, they're worth roughly 750 crores. That is what the media is saying, 750 crores. And out of the 750 crores, now this entire portion will now go to Indian manufacturers. These people, they could be in Hyderabad, Bangalore, New Delhi, wherever in India. They are going to produce stuff for the Indian armed forces. And this will give us Aatmanirbharta. self-reliance. So tomorrow, if there is a war, and we are always preparing for tomorrow. The armed forces always prepare for an eventuality tomorrow. If tomorrow there is a war, we are well placed. We are very well placed to fight the war using our own technology, our own manufacturing ecosystem, and our own people. This is what we should aim for. No country can aspire to become a superpower with imported weapons. You must have your own setup. And this is what Aatmanirbharta is all about. Thank you for watching. I'll come back tomorrow with another short video and tell you what's happening around the world. Thanks for watching.